My phone lit up with a message that froze me mid-step. I've met someone else. I want nothing more to do with you. That was it. No warm-up, no explanation, just one final cold declaration. I stared at the words for a moment, feeling the sharp sting of them, and then, instead of anger or desperation, something else came over me, a strange, icy calm. I typed my reply slowly, each word deliberate, as you wish. And then I put the phone down, opened my laptop, and began shutting her world down. A week later, her attorney was trying frantically to reach me, but before I get ahead of myself, let me say this. This is our new channel, and we're putting everything into bringing you the most compelling stories possible. If you want to support us, hit that subscribe button and help us get to our first 1,000 subscribers. Now, let's start. I'm Adam, 31 years old. I've never thought of myself as complicated. On the outside, I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I run a small but thriving logistics consulting firm, a business I built from the ground up starting in my mid-20s with nothing but a second-hand laptop, an unstable Wi-Fi connection, and a stomach full of anxiety. The early years nearly broke me. 80-hour weeks, living on cheap instant noodles, taking client calls at 2 in the morning, reinvesting every single dollar back into the business. But persistence has a way of paying off. About 2 years ago, I landed one big contract, then another, and slowly the grinding years of survival turned into stability, and then profit. For the past 3 years, that success had also included someone else. My girlfriend, Claire, 28. When I met her, she was working as a receptionist, bored out of her mind, but holding on to her dream of becoming a fine arts curator. She had the passion, but no industry connections, no financial stability, and no clear path forward. I was captivated almost instantly. My life had been nothing but spreadsheets, deadlines, and late-night coffee runs. Claire was a burst of color in a grayscale routine. And now that I finally had the means, I wanted to help her chase her dream, so I made her an offer. Quit the job you hate. Focus on your art history degree. Take unpaid internships if that's what it takes. Network, build experience. I'll take care of the rest. I genuinely believed we were a team investing in a shared future, and I followed through. Her rent for a stylish, art-themed apartment downtown, $3,500 a month. The lease for her Audi A5, $800 a month co-signed by me. Designer clothes, organic groceries, specialized art supplies. I even added her as an authorized user on 2 of my credit cards. I never bothered checking the statements. My job revolves around managing details for clients. In my personal life, I just wanted to trust. Tuesday was our 3-year anniversary. I had reservations at a restaurant she'd been talking about for months. I'd bought her a simple but elegant sapphire necklace, something I thought she'd love. I came home a little earlier than usual, ready to surprise her. The apartment was empty. At 7:15 p.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Claire. I've met someone else. I want nothing more to do with you. 7 words. After 3 years of underwriting her life completely, that was all she had to say. The shock hit me like a punch to the gut. My chest felt hollow. My first instinct was to type a dozen frantic questions. Why? Who? Was I not enough? But then a different feeling took over. Cold clarity. The words, nothing more to do with you, were unambiguous. She wasn't asking for space. She wasn't leaving the door open for reconciliation. She'd drawn the line for me, so I typed my 3-word reply, as you wish. Phone on silent, laptop open. The consultant in me took control. This wasn't heartbreak. This was a problem to be resolved. Step 1, financial ties. I logged into my banking portal and removed her as an authorized user from both credit cards. Instant deactivation. Step 2, the car. The lease was in my name, co-signed for her. Couldn't terminate it right away, but the next payment was due in a week. I canceled the automatic payment. Step 3, the apartment. Lease under my name. I pulled up the PDF agreement. Break clause required 60 days notice and a 2-month penalty. Annoying, but simple enough. I drafted an email to the property management citing the clause and CC'd my personal email for a time-stamped record. Step 4. Subscriptions. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify Family, her boutique gym membership, the organic meal kit service. One by one, I changed passwords, removed her profiles, canceled memberships. Step 5. The phone. She was on my family plan. I initiated the removal of her line. It took about 45 minutes. When I was done, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just empty. I packed an overnight bag, left the sapphire necklace on the kitchen counter, and drove to my brother Lucas's place. I didn't want to be there when she came back for her things. The rest of the week was silent. No calls, no messages. That silence told me all I needed to know. She was busy enjoying her new arrangement. Until Friday afternoon. Somewhere, one of her cards must have been declined, probably somewhere important, because my phone lit up with a stream of messages, first pleading, then confusion, then full-blown anger. I read them. I didn't reply. Then, Saturday morning, an email arrived. The subject line, URGENT, regarding Claire Jennings. It was from a partner at a downtown law firm. According to him, he was representing Miss Jennings and needed to speak with me immediately about my summary and malicious cessation of established financial support. Apparently, my quiet "as you wish" wasn't the neat ending she had in mind. Update 1. The outpouring of comments. After my original post really grounded me. The overwhelming consensus? Lawyer up. So I did. My father has worked with an attorney named Mr. Hall for years on business contracts. Sharp guy, no fluff. After I laid everything out for him, he glanced over the rim of his glasses and said, "Son, it appears you've encountered a new species of predator." He reviewed the email from Claire's attorney, a man named Robert Hayes, and that's when the real fun began. Mr. Hall leaned back in his chair and actually chuckled when he read the phrase, malicious cessation. That's the legal equivalent of an angry toddler throwing his toys across the room, he said. Looks scary on paper, but it's got no bite. He wasted no time drafting a crisp professional reply to Mr. Hayes. His letter stated plainly that our clients, meaning me and Claire, were never married, held no joint assets, and that the relationship, along with any voluntary financial gifts connected to it, had been ended by Miss Jennings herself. He concluded by making it clear that any further communication needed to go through him directly. I figured that would be the end of it. It wasn't. Instead of a demand for some ridiculous lump sum, what came back was worse, a more calculated form of pressure. Mr. Hayes sent a formal proposal for what he called a confidential transitional support settlement. The letter was dripping with absurd claims about Claire's significant career and emotional investment in our relationship, and how my sudden withdrawal of financial support had supposedly caused her severe emotional distress and professional setbacks. His proposed solution, that I keep paying her rent and her car payment for the next 6 months, and, on top of that, give her a parting gift of $20,000. The justification was that it would help avoid lengthy and public litigation. It was a shakedown, pure, simple, and badly disguised. Mr. Hall barely glanced at the document before advising me to ignore it entirely. Let them burn through their own money chasing this, he said. Filing an actual lawsuit on these grounds is the fastest way for a lawyer to get sued for malpractice. The real entertainment began when the fallout from my financial cutoff started hitting her life hard. That Saturday, I got a call from Judith, the property manager for Claire's old apartment. Her tone was exasperated. "Adam, she just showed up here with some guy, says his name is Ryan, demanding I give her a key," Judith said. I told her she's not on the lease anymore, and she caused a scene, yelled about her life's work being trapped inside. This guy tried to flex on me, saying they could make things difficult for me. Judith, who has probably seen every kind of entitled tenant meltdown, simply pointed at the no trespassing sign and told them to read it. Minutes later, my phone buzzed. It was Claire, skipping the legal channels and coming straight to me. You can't just throw me out. My internship portfolio is in there. I have a review next week, and the Audi dealership just called. Payment was declined. You know it's co-signed. You're ruining your own credit, too. Are you stupid? It was a bluff. My credit is airtight, and one late payment, which I plan to cover, wouldn't even make a dent. Then she added, Ryan is a good man. He's a real estate developer, and he can't believe how childish you're being. He says you're playing games you can't win. I didn't reply. I screenshotted the entire exchange and forwarded it to Mr. Hall. He practically lit up. Direct contact after legal counsel has been engaged? She's a gift that keeps on giving. But the dirtiest move came the next day. A mutual acquaintance sent me a screenshot from Claire's private Instagram story. It was a teary-eyed selfie with a caption that read, "Finally escaping a financially abusive and controlling relationship. The road ahead is terrifying, but I'm so grateful for the people showing me what real support looks like." She was trying to brand herself as a survivor, for no longer having her lifestyle funded after dumping me for another man. Mr. Hall is now drafting a cease and desist letter for slander. We also arranged for her to collect her belongings. I agreed to hire 2 neutral movers, have a detailed inventory list prepared, and ensure her lawyer was present for the process. This time, there would be no confusion about what was hers and what wasn't. It still amazes me that she thought she could replace me with another provider and keep all the perks. Update 2. This saga took a turn I didn't see coming. The move-out day was set for Saturday morning. I had the movers booked, Mr. Hall had the inventory list ready, personal effects only, and Mr. Hayes had confirmed he'd be there by 10 a.m. sharp. At 9:45 a.m., one of the movers called me. Sir, the lady and a gentleman are here. They say their lawyer's running late, but they want to start now. My stomach dropped. I immediately called Mr. Hall. He told me to tell the movers to deny access until he arrived. Too late. In an attempt to be helpful, the movers had already let them into the building's lobby. Mr. Hall got Hayes on the phone. The man claimed he was stuck in traffic and would be there in 30 minutes. I didn't believe that for a second. It was a setup. I instructed the movers to stand firm. Only approved personal boxes could leave the apartment. For the next half hour, Claire and Ryan ran through every tactic they could think of. First, they tried to bluff the movers into believing they were part of Ryan's crew. When that didn't work, Claire suddenly switched to tears, accusing the movers of intimidating her. The breaking point came when they started eyeing the furniture. Claire insisted the custom bookshelf, the ergonomic desk, the memory foam mattress, and the 65-inch OLED TV were all gifts from me and therefore hers. Before I could even process my frustration, they tried to move the TV themselves. That's when the lead mover, a massive guy with the patience of a monk, stepped forward and blocked their path. "Folks," he said evenly, "that item's not on my inventory sheet of approved personal effects. Please put it down." Ryan puffed up his chest. "Who are you to tell us what we can take?" The mover didn't flinch. "I'm the guy this man hired to make sure no one steals his property." Ethan couldn't help but laugh when he heard the term malicious cessation. To him, it was nothing more than the legal equivalent of a toddler hurling toys across the room in a tantrum. It sounded intimidating on paper, but in reality, it carried no legal weight whatsoever. His attorney, Mr. Carter, sent a sharply worded response to the opposing counsel, Mr. Harlan. The letter laid everything out plainly. Ethan and the woman in question, now referred to as Sienna Lane, had never been married, never shared property or joint accounts, and that their relationship, along with the voluntary gifts that had come with it, had been ended by Sienna herself. Mr. Carter concluded by instructing that all further communication go through him directly. Ethan expected this would put an end to the ridiculous $75,000 demand that had been tossed his way. Instead, what followed was something far more insidious. Harlan sent back a formal letter, but its content was nothing short of a shakedown. He proposed what he called a confidential transitional support settlement, claiming that Sienna had made a significant career and emotional investment in the relationship, and that Ethan's sudden withdrawal of support had allegedly caused her professional setbacks and severe emotional distress. The proposal was absurd. Ethan was to continue paying her rent and car lease for 6 more months and hand her a lump sum of $20,000, supposedly to avoid a lengthy and public litigation. Mr. Carter didn't even hesitate. His advice was to ignore it completely. Let them spend their money, he told Ethan. Any attorney who files a lawsuit over this is practically begging for a malpractice claim. The real trouble began when Sienna started facing the consequences of her own choices. That Saturday, Ethan received an urgent call from Judith, the property manager of Sienna's former apartment. She explained that Sienna had shown up with her new boyfriend, Russell Grant, and demanded a key to the unit. Judith refused since Sienna's name wasn't on the lease. That's when Sienna caused a loud scene, shouting about her life's work being trapped inside. Russell, trying to assert dominance, told Judith, "We can make this very difficult for you." Judith, unfazed, having seen her fair share of entitled tenants, pointed at the no trespassing sign and told them to read it. Not long after, Ethan's phone buzzed. A direct text from Sienna, bypassing all legal channels. "You can't just throw me out. My internship portfolio is still in there. I have a review next week. And by the way, the Audi dealership just called. The payment was declined. The car is co-signed. You're ruining your own credit, too. Are you stupid?" Ethan smirked. His credit was flawless, and one late payment, especially one he intended to clear, wouldn't scratch it. Another text followed. "Russell is a good man. He's a real estate developer, and he can't believe how you're acting. He says you're playing games you can't win." Ethan didn't reply. Instead, he took screenshots of every message and forwarded them to Mr. Carter, who was positively gleeful. "Direct contact after counsel is engaged," Carter said. "She's a gift that keeps on giving." But the dirtiest move came the next day. A mutual acquaintance sent Ethan a screenshot from Sienna's private Instagram story. It was a close-up selfie, her eyes red and watery, captioned, "Finally escaping a financially abusive and controlling relationship. The road ahead is terrifying, but I'm grateful for those showing me what real support looks like." The irony was staggering. She was painting Ethan as an abuser simply because he stopped funding her lifestyle after she left him for another man. Carter immediately began drafting a cease and desist letter for slander. They arranged a formal date for her to collect her belongings. 2 neutral movers would be present, and her lawyer would supervise. This time, Carter had a detailed inventory list to ensure nothing beyond personal effects left the apartment. Sienna seemed to believe she could simply replace Ethan like a service provider and keep every benefit intact. Reality was about to prove her wrong. The morning of the move-out arrived. At 9:45 a.m., one of the movers called Ethan. "Sir, the lady and a gentleman are here. They say their lawyer's running late and want to get started." Ethan's gut told him something was off. He immediately called Carter, who instructed him to tell the movers not to let them in until he arrived. But it was already too late. The movers, trying to be accommodating, had let them into the lobby. Carter phoned Harlan, who claimed he was stuck in traffic and would be half an hour late. Ethan didn't buy it. It was a setup. He instructed the movers to allow only boxed items from the inventory list to be removed. For the next 30 minutes, Sienna and Russell tried every tactic, claiming the movers were part of Russell's hired crew, accusing them of intimidation, and finally attempting to haul out large furniture. She insisted the custom bookshelf, ergonomic desk, memory foam mattress, and 65-inch OLED TV were all gifts. When she and Russell began dragging the TV toward the door, the lead mover calmly stepped in front of them. "That item's not on my approved list," he said. "Please put it down." Russell puffed his chest. "Who are you to tell us what to take?" The mover didn't blink. "The guy hired to stop theft from this property. Put it down, or my next call is to the police." That was the exact moment Carter walked in. Without raising his voice, he glanced at Sienna, then Russell, then the TV. Producing receipts for every disputed item, all showing Ethan as the purchaser, he stated that removing anything not on the list without counsel present would be a breach of the agreement and could lead to a police report for attempted grand larceny. Defeated, they grabbed the boxes and left, but not before leaving scuff marks, debris, and $1,200 in damages behind. Carter promptly sent the bill and movers incident report to Harlan. And then poetic justice arrived on its own. That infamous Instagram post had circulated within Sienna's professional circle. She'd been working as an unpaid intern at a small but respected art gallery. The art scene was tight-knit, and news traveled fast. A junior curator named Lauren, whom Ethan had met a few times, saw the post and immediately recognized the accusation as false. Disgusted, she shared it with a colleague. Soon, word had spread that Sienna Lane, the intern who lived lavishly without a job, was slandering the man who had bankrolled her lifestyle after she dumped him for a real estate agent. Her story backfired, painting her not as a survivor, but as entitled and toxic. The gallery's director, protective of its reputation, quietly informed Sienna that her internship was no longer a good fit. Ethan didn't lift a finger. The consequences unfolded naturally, financial and reputational. Weeks later, Carter delivered the final blow to Harlan's last bluffing letter. Any attempt to sue will be met with a counterclaim for damages, movers' fees, legal costs, and a separate civil suit for defamation. We have all the receipts. Do you? Silence followed. They folded. The last twist came from Lauren. She emailed Ethan with a screenshot of a Facebook post from Sienna's father. It was a sorrowful account of his daughter leaving a good, stable man for a flashy fraud. Russell, it turned out, was no developer. Just a commission-based agent with a life built on debt. His income collapsed, the relationship imploded, and Sienna had to move back home, broke and deep in debt, her art career dead in the water. Ethan felt no joy, only the quiet weight of order restored. Justice, he thought, wasn't lightning, it was gravity.